Hello everyone, this is Matusz Hanidziar, and I welcome you to this masterclass that is called Become a Secure Partner. Now, this is the third masterclass out of the 16 masterclasses that I'm going to be hosting over the next couple of weeks and months. And I'm ready to jump in, so let us start. I'm just going to share the screen right away, and let us start with the presentation right away. I'm just going to hide this, and let's do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the masterclass that is called Become a Secure Partner. It is two parts. One part is masterclass, where I will provide my own experience from the 38 years of living, 7 years of working with others as a hypnotherapist and a coach, and 18 years as being a partner to my wonderful wife who brought me second child 2 days ago, which I'm very excited about. So let us start with saying one important thing, and that is you weren't born to be secure, but you can learn it. There are many people out there who have the luck of a draw that they were raised by affectionate, loving, and attentive parents who knew what they are supposed to do when they were raising them. And then there are others who didn't have as much luck, and they end up being probably insecure or having some struggles. Now, why I'm saying this is because, and it's very important to say right from the get-go, your attachment style has been created by multiple experiences, but it is usually based on your relationship that you had with your significant others during your childhood, during your upbringing. So most often parents. And so your attachment style is something that many of us come to learn and come to identify only in the romantic relationship. But the fact is that this is, and it has been studied mostly on children, and it started to be on children, how they attach to their mother, and then it transforms into your romantic relationship. So let us talk about how you can change this, and let us go forward. So what to expect? We will be talking about three myths about attachment that many people seem to believe. And if you believe these myths, you can be stuck, and you can find yourself stuck, not being able to move forward. These were the myths that I believed as well when I learned about me being disorganized in the past. And let us break these myths, and let us provide a different explanation, different frame. We will be talking about three important pillars of secure attachment, because let me just say one thing, and that is, because you can become secure, because every single person watching this can become secure, it doesn't really matter where you start. It doesn't matter whether you are anxiously attached, whether you are avoidant, or whether you are disorganized, that is sometimes anxious and sometimes avoidant. It doesn't really matter. What matters is to know your destination. And I really like to think about this motto, or this quote where I don't know who said it, but they said, if you care less about your current results and more about your current trajectory, current direction, then you'll be much happier. And this is indeed what we're gonna keep in mind. We will be talking about 3 steps to become a secure partner, and how I managed to become a secure partner, and how I'm helping others to do the same. And we will be outlining these 3 steps, and at the end I will show you 3 ways how you can work with me one-on-one, if this is indeed something that you would be interested in. Let us talk about something very short, and that is my story. So I'm married since 2010, but I've been with my current partner since 2007, and we had a short break, let's call it a break, in 2021, when my wife decided to break up with me. And it was mostly after, due to the fact that I was carrying quite a lot of trauma, quite a lot of unprocessed and unhealed emotions from the past. And it was due to the fact that I used to have disorganized attachment, which I didn't know at the time. And so my wife was avoidant. She used to be avoidant. I used to be disorganized, so mostly anxious in this relationship. As you will learn very soon, attachment style can and does change from relationship to relationship. And so our breakup led me to start looking deep into myself. Now, I have been talking about this in my YouTube videos and on Instagram and all over the place. How I struggled with taking responsibility for my part, for like where we ended up, and I was blaming her. But apart from that, and it took me some time to come to realization that indeed I am responsible, or that there is my part. But now, as soon as I realized it, I started to dig deep. I was like, okay, what's wrong? What is not working? What am I missing, right? And that led me to find a book that is called Attached, which I strongly recommend. But it is very important to take a proper approach to this book, because, hear me out, when I read this book and I finished it in like one day, like it's not a short book, but I finished in one day because I was like, oh my God, this is exactly describing how we navigate, how the relationship dynamic, how we functioned over the last, I don't know how much, was it 15 years or so. But then it led me back into blaming, because I was like, I'm anxious, yes, but she is avoidant, right? And for those people out there who know something about attachment styles, it seems like as soon as somebody is avoidant, it's like this common enemy. It's their fault that they are avoiding us. It's their fault that they are avoiding intimacy. Just like you didn't choose being anxious, you don't choose being avoidant. And it's nobody's fault, but it's everybody's responsibility to work on themselves. And so what I'm saying here is, if you decide to read this book, which is profoundly beneficial and can bring you a lot of benefits, it's very important to frame it in a way that you are going to learn mostly about yourself. You can learn about your partner, but it's very important to understand that, again, no matter where you find yourself, no matter where you find your partner, no matter what you identify, it's very important to mostly look at the latter chapters of this book that talk about effective communication, that talk about being secure, that talk about identity and beliefs of the secure person, and to be focusing on that one, not where you used to be, just like I did, or where your partner is and how is it possible that they are not changing like I used to do. Please, if you decide to read it, go in a different direction. When you do that, it will take you much less than it took me to become secure. Now, in that book and even online, you can find that changing your attachment style takes years, right? That might be, common experience, but it definitely wasn't my experience, and it definitely wasn't experience of my wife, who both of us are now secure. And if we have some tendencies, then yes, we can recognize them, and yes, we can change them on the spot as they happen, right? Like kind of going back into the previous anxious or disorganized or avoidant tendencies. It can happen much faster, right? But you got to have tools, and you got to have some understanding about what is true and what isn't. And so let us start with the myth. And myth number one, your attachment is fixed, right? There are people out there who believe that attachment style is fixed for life and cannot change. Now, there are two things that I want to talk about. Number one, the truth is that your attachment might change with different partners. And for those of you who experience multiple relationships, they can probably say better than I, then that they experience themselves differently in a different relationships. I was actually working with a client just as I was reading the book Attached. I was working with a client back then 3 years ago who was indeed in that scenario where he was with a woman who was very avoidant, and so he became very anxious about the relationship, about the future relationship, about anything and everything that she was doing, checking the phone, checking her Instagram profile, and being like obsessive about what is happening. And when we were discussing this, he actually remembered that he was on the opposite side, and he was avoidant when he was in the previous relationship, where the woman adored him, and he was the best best person for her. But then he could find different things to rationalize why he should be keeping distance, right? Needless to say that as we changed his attachment style, he actually found himself being out of the relationship, and now he's in a relationship where he's profoundly happy. And it seems that he is secure. And just like he was saying, many people don't even recognize him compared to how he used to be. And so you can change your attachment style not only with different partners, but you can rewire your attachment style with the same partner. One important note here, it is enough if just one person starts taking steps towards becoming secure. Because as you become secure, as you become secure, you will automatically transfer this onto your partner. So you will automatically transfer your security and your feeling of security onto your partner, whether they are avoidant and whether they are anxious, it doesn't really matter. Now, being anxious and avoidant is almost like these magnet poles, right? They are pulling and pushing. And so if you start to change your tendencies, it will change the tendencies of the second person next to you, because you are not so easily triggered. You are not so easily pushed, or your buttons are not so easily pushed. Myth number 2, being insecure means unhealthy. So the myth is that only people born with a secure attachment can have a healthy relationships. Now, it's completely false. The truth is that insecure individuals can have healthy relationships even as they are insecure, but it's very important for them to be aware of their tendencies. So even if you diagnose yourself or identify yourself that you are insecure, and you decide that this is fine, it's fine. You can have healthy relationships as you are. Just want to be aware of your tendencies, of your triggers, of your buttons, right? Just like in any other relationship. But it's also important to say that insecure individuals can reprogram their subconscious and develop secure habits and develop secure attachment. And so you can have a healthy relationship even as an insecure partner, or you can decide to change this into being secure. Myth 3, secure with the one, right? So some people out there, and this is usually true for avoidant people, for people with avoidant attachment, they tend to believe that if I find the right person, I'll automatically feel secure. Like they have this feeling like something is missing, right? It was good at the beginning of the relationship, but I don't feel it anymore, right? There's some elusive it that was there, but I don't feel it anymore. And so probably this is not the one, right? If something like this happens, I would take it as a sign of your avoidant attachment style. And I would look mostly on whether this is a problem that is them related or you related, or them specific or you specific. Meaning, is this the feeling that you have only with them? Or is this the feeling that you have with pretty much every partner, and this is something that happens to you? Like many people say, oh, this just happens to me, right? I fall in love quickly, I feel very good, I feel very safe, but then I don't feel it anymore, right? That would be avoidant attachment style talking, right? So the truth is, security is cultivated internally. It's not just about finding the right partner or the one, right? It's all about you becoming the one. It's about you becoming secure. It's about you stepping into stability and security. It's about you feeling like you have everything internally, and the other person is not completing you, but is complementing you, which is quite of a difference, right? So that's myth number 3. Let us talk about 3 pillars. Now, 3 pillars on which you can build anything in your life. But we are talking about secure attachment, so let us talk about this one. Is pillar number 1, identity. Pillar number 2, beliefs. And pillar number 3, behaviors. Now, pillar number 1, identity, is all about how you define yourself with those 2 words, I am. And ideally, you define yourself, I am secure, or I am a secure person, I am a secure partner. If it doesn't ring true, if it doesn't sound true because of your bank of past anxious or avoidant experiences, you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. Your subconscious mind doesn't care. Your subconscious mind is literally like a computer program that you can reprogram, and you can decide that from now on, I install a new update, and as it reboots, I will function differently. Did you ever find yourself installing a new operating software, let's say in your phone or on your PC, and then as soon as you restarted it or you rebooted it, it looked different, it behaved differently, it had new functionalities? This is what happens. You don't need any past bank of memories to change your identity. All you need to do is to know proper steps. And we'll be talking about multiple ways and multiple pathways how to get there. But the truth is that actually the bank of past experiences is usually the thing that you are dragging with you, and it's standing in the way. It's like, yes, I want to become this secure person, but look, like I have all of this. You don't. It's no longer here. It used to be, right? But what used to be is not part of you anymore. It doesn't have to be part of you, right? And we'll be talking about how you can make the past part of your history and not part of you, as it often happens to be for many people. Pillar number 2 is beliefs. Beliefs not only about yourself, which we can call identity, that is, I am this kind of person, but also it is something that you know with absolute certainty. Belief is something that you know with absolute certainty. And in this case, you know what a secure partner knows, right? And we'll be talking about these beliefs. It's, I believe, 8 beliefs there that secure people know with absolute certainty that this is how things are. And you want to imagine it, and this might be far-fetched, but let me just, this might sound weird, but let's just go with it. You might want to imagine it as a scenario where aliens come to the earth, and they stop you as the first specimen, and they're like, "Hey, human, tell us something. What you believe about relationships? What are relationships?" And then you would, because they never met any relationship, they don't know the concept. You are the one to explain. How would you explain it? What words would you use? What would you say about relationships? What happens there? What is the exchange? How does it work? These are your beliefs about the relationships. And there are specific beliefs that if you believe these ones, you automatically start to behave, and that's the third pillar, you automatically start to behave as the secure partner. So once you have identity of the secure person and you have beliefs of a secure person, then you start to automatically behave. We will be talking about behaviors. I will present to you one very important technique for communication in the workshop part of this presentation. But behaviors are the least important to focus on. You need to take care of your identity, and you want to take care of your beliefs. And once you do this one, the behaviors naturally follow. Now, let us talk about identity. So, identity, I'm going to be talking about 3 important questions for each of these pillars, and that is why, what, and how. So, pillar, identity, why. Okay, one more time. I'm going to be talking about 3 important questions. The first question will be why this is a pillar. Second is what it means, what it represents, and the third is how. Right, that's the most important thing. Okay, let us start with the pillar number 1, and that is identity. Why? Identity as a part of who you are, how you define yourself, is something that controls your life. How you define yourself controls your life in all the different areas. Now, identity you hold with regard to relationships controls your relationships. So the belief, like I said just a couple of moments ago, belief is the feeling of absolute certainty of what something means. And let me say another characteristic of belief, and this is important to remember and important to understand. Belief is a decision. Belief is a decision you made at a specific point in your past. And ever since, you have been carrying it with you as something that you know. And because you know it, your mind jumps in and starts to generalize your findings or your experiences. It will use 3 mechanisms that we'll be talking about soon to confirm, and there is something that we can call confirmation bias, to confirm what you already believe. And that kind of goes forward with the fact that we don't see the world as it is, but we see the world as we are. You don't see your relationships as they are, you see them as you are. That is, what you believe about your relationships will be reflected out there, even if it's not true. You will find the evidence for it, right? And now, identity is who you are and who you are not. That is a very important thing. It is often in conflict with your goals, and it is the single most important force of power in your personality. So, does it make sense to focus on identity? It definitely does, right? And let us talk about what it actually means and what are the four important pillars or beliefs that secure people believe about themselves. That is the four pillars of their identity. Number one is they don't just think, but they feel deep in their body that my self-worth is stable, meaning I am worthy of love and respect. Now, do you believe that I had this one when I was disorganized? Do you believe that anxious people out there have it? Do you believe that avoidant people really believe this one deep in their body? Usually not. And what is sad about it, but unfortunately, what is also true about it is that nobody was born believing this, right? Believing this BS, this false belief, this mistaken assumption. But many people out there believe it now, right? And they call it, my different issues like self-worth issues, self-esteem issues. But actually, it is all based on one decision that they made somewhere in the past, and ever since they carried this decision. This is who I am, and look, this confirms it, this confirms it, this confirms it. Disregarding many experiences where it was actually the opposite, right? Second identity belief is I am mentally flexible. I am open to feedback, and I'm ready to revise my beliefs. Now, open to feedback, for many people, it's very difficult, right? To receive feedback, to receive criticism, even the criticism is already there is this negative connotation to the word itself, right? When you hear criticism, for many people, it is triggering. And instead of focusing on the content of what they are receiving, they focus on the feeling that it triggers in them, even though the feeling is internal, right? It's not coming from the external environment. So another identity, right? Another second identity pillar, I am mentally flexible. Third identity pillar, I am capable of improvement. I'm resourceful and in the face of challenges. That is growth mindset. I'm pretty sure that you heard about this one. Number four, I'm comfortable with intimacy and closeness. I'm not afraid of vulnerability or enmeshment. Sometimes avoidant people tend to call it that way. These are four pillars. That is, that identity is important, and this is the four pillars that every single secure partner, secure individual out there is carrying. All of them. And now, if you don't have these ones, if you don't have these four pillars, how can you get them, right? How can you make them real for you? There are actually 3 steps or 3 options how you can get there. So how do you change your identity? One is to start where you are and start to focus on the future. You use visualization, you use repetition, you use mental rehearsal. And this is something that we will be doing today using self-hypnosis. I will guide you through a specific recording that will guide you to visualize and step into your secure partner. So that's one. But what often happens is that even as we do this, sometimes the mind would like to go there, but the body doesn't feel like it. Like there is this incongruence within, and people feel like, okay, there is like I can tell that you are faking it, right? So there is important second step and how to change identity and in fact any belief, and that is questioning and doubt. Introducing doubt into what we believe, or introducing question mark, we'll start to take care of these three mechanisms that our subconscious mind uses to project confirmation bias, to project our past decisions onto current circumstances, and that is deletion, distortion, and generalization. So these three, I mean, obviously you can go online, you can Google it, you can chat GPT it, and what it means, but all in all of us are using these three mechanisms to subconsciously confirm what we believe, even if it's not true anymore. And it's only by introducing the question mark or introducing doubt into our beliefs, into our deep-seated past decisions, that we can start to open up into different possibilities or different alternatives. And what usually takes care of these different alternatives and these past decisions is something that is called reframing or reimprinting. And what this does, and I'm going to be talking about it when we are in the workshop part, much more deeper. What this does is it takes care of your past experiences by identifying where specifically, in which scenario you made this decision. Let's say, I'm not worthy of love, right? You haven't been born with that, but now you believe it. Okay, so you are born, and then there is a timeline of experiences, and you are here. Okay, somewhere there you made a decision that you are not worthy of love. And now, what reframing and reimprinting does, it is a neuro-linguistic programming method and technique, very powerful one. It takes you back to the moment, identifying the moment, and it takes you back just before the moment, where you get to reconnect with the part of you, or reconnect with the truth about you, where you get to realize, not by somebody telling you, not a therapist or practitioner or whoever, but about you stepping back before the decision and realizing, oh shoot, I actually made a decision there, but before I didn't believe that I was unworthy. I actually didn't have this decision at all. I was not even questioning it, right? Now, I didn't make that clear, decisive decision. This is my truth now, even though it wasn't, right? So taking you back and understanding that there was a split there somewhere makes you realize and actually reintegrate those old parts of you who know the truth about yourself, not the BS that you decided at one of your lowest points, right? What are the experiences where people decide that they are not worthy? Are they really positive experiences, like the peak experiences, or are they experiences where they are down, beaten, somebody is abusing them, somebody is like some traumatic experience? When you are there and you make the decision, it kind of gets triggered into it gets kind of integrated into your nervous system, and from there you carry this limiting, disempowering belief within. But once you use this technique, and once you use the step to think before that, and you kind of flow through that experience resourceful, you can actually change your past. You can change how you see yourself. You can reframe what you believe about yourself. And then, and often only then for many, this mental rehearsal, this part of visualization and repetition, starts to make much more sense, and the changes are happening just like that, because there's nothing else that would be in contradiction with what you are trying to achieve, right? And again, reframing and reimprinting, apart from other different modalities, take care of this bank of past negative experiences that you hold about yourself. It will be all gone. And once that is done, once the canvas is clear, you can then paint any picture that you decide, no matter how messy the canvas was before. It's literally like a reboot of your own organism. Let us talk about the pillar number 2, beliefs, and why. So once again, belief, a decision you made in at a specific point in your time. If it's a negative or disempowering belief, probably you were not at your best. You were somewhere down, and you made a decision, right? It kind of got linked into your nervous system. You kind of are carrying it now as your part, and it is a feeling of absolute certainty of what something means. And what this does is there is actually part of your brain that is called reticular activating system, RAS for short. And RAS is something that makes you search and scan your environment for a specific thing. And because you are deleting, distorting, and generalizing, it makes you to not look for other things, right? And so if you believe that you are not worthy, within that bank of your past experiences, there are, hundreds, thousands, millions of experiences. But because you feel that you are unworthy, you know with absolute certainty you are unworthy, in your mind and in your RIS, those that made you feel unworthy will be sticking out. And those will be important, and you will notice them. And going forward from the environment, from every single interaction, you are noticing only things that are confirming your beliefs. But once you change your beliefs, RIS changes with them. And you start to notice different things about the environment, different things about you, different things about people. And indeed, beliefs are self-fulfilling prophecies, because what you believe and how you are, you see the world in that way, and that confirms your viewpoint. And so you believe very strongly that these are all truths, and indeed they are, but only with the limited view of the world that we all carry, in the limited, this distorted view of the world. And let me just say that based on my understanding, there are no good beliefs or bad beliefs. There are only beliefs that work in a specific scenario, and then there are beliefs that don't work in a specific scenario. And it's best to choose beliefs that work. So if you find yourself in a situation, and we are talking about relationships, if you find yourself in a relationship and something doesn't work, then it is an indication of your improper beliefs that don't work for you. And the step to take is to change your beliefs. So beliefs are something that guide your entire existence and entire experience, because they make you notice only those things that are confirmed within your beliefs. They make you describe those experiences based on your beliefs. So you frame these experiences that you experience based on what you believe already. They make you feel in a specific way. They make you think in a specific way. They make you act in a specific way, just because you are carrying these beliefs. And a person with a different sense of beliefs would probably notice something else in those situations, would describe them differently, would feel, think, and act differently, because they have different sense of beliefs. So what are the 8 beliefs of secure people? Number 1, my partner is well-intentioned and trustworthy. So that's the belief that they carry, instead of expecting them to hurt me, right? Number 2, my partner is loving and responsive to my needs, instead of not caring about me at all. Number 3, relationships are mutually supportive and nurturing, instead of being a one-way business. Why am I putting these instead of? Because these were all what I used to believe. These are probably many people out there that are believe this, and they might say, as you are watching this, you might want to say, well, yes, my partner is well-intentioned and trustworthy. I hear you, but it's not true. Well, it hasn't been true up until now, because you were not training yourself to be looking for the clues from the environment and from their behavior that would confirm this deep-seated belief. And you might say, oh no, it's completely false, because my experience tells me something else. Yes, and your experience is based on your beliefs. We live in the belief-driven universe. Universe is moving around you based on your beliefs. This is not a woo. This is quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and this is how this world functions for people. And so, if you are to navigate your world effectively and empowered, you need effective and empowered beliefs. And these 3 work. There are another 3. Number 1, there are many partners who would be a good fit. So there is not just one somewhere out there. Conflict is an opportunity for growth. So it's not a threat for the relationship or to the relationship. And effective communication leads to understanding. That is, expressing my needs lead to fulfillment, not rejection. And again, even as I'm talking, there are a lot of experiences and a lot of memories that come to me. It's like, oh, but I used to believe something else, or I experienced something else. Yes. And once again, belief comes first, and then comes your experience. Belief comes first, and then comes your experience. You don't have to believe me, but belief comes first, and then comes your experience. This is how it works, right? And this is what works for secure people. How do you change it? So once again, you change it by rehearsal and you change it by experience. But once again, your brain can't differentiate between what is imagined and what is what is real. And so you can use visualization, just like we will be using today. You can use mental rehearsal to see yourself in the third person in a scenario where everything is fine. I'm secure. I'm taken care of. I'm being held in this wonderful secure space, and then you can step inside yourself, and that counts as experience. You do it once, you do it two times, you do it 3 times, you do it 10 times, and you flood your brain, you flood your subconscious mind with a lot of evidence. And evidence is something that your brain is looking for, because once you have evidence, it becomes familiar. And once it's familiar, it kind of unlocks, and it is now possible to enter this. Because brain always goes for what is familiar first, and then from the familiar options, it chooses what works best. But if it's not familiar, if being secure is not familiar for you, no matter that you know consciously that it works or that would be better for you, if it's not familiar, you will not go there, because your subconscious mind is here to protect you. And whatever is unfamiliar, it means danger, 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 danger. So you're gonna make it familiar. Introducing new alternatives, it's written there. Brain chooses what is familiar and then what works. Now, once again, reframing as one method, that is looking at your past experiences that are energetically or emotionally triggering negatively, and you kind of carry this bang, looking at them and reframing how you see them, and even sometimes from what angle you see them, can make profound changes in how you feel about them. Reimprinting and belief installation, which is this amazing process where you can just simply install belief in like 5 minutes, and you have this belief almost like you are updating your unconscious. Subconscious rewiring and changing your past. Now, behaviors. Why they are important? I believe they are very important because they are evidence. They are kind of these indicators of your beliefs and your identity. So, like I said, number 1, identity, number 2, beliefs, and number 3, behaviors. And behaviors, no matter what they are always showing us what we believe about the world, about others, and mostly about ourselves, what we deserve, and so on. So they are great indicators. But let us talk about what are the behaviors of secure people. I provide a secure base. Secure base means I support my partner's goals and encourage personal growth. I am comfortable with emotional and physical intimacy. I don't separate two. Emotional and physical intimacy, they are just one and the same, just different forms of the same thing. Number 3, I treat my partner with love and respect. That is, I act consistently and reliably in my relationships. I'm engaged in problem solving because obviously I believe that conflict is here for growth, not as a problem, right? We talked about it. So once you believe this, it's easy to engage in problem solving. I remain present and focus on finding solutions. Why? Because if I believe that conflict, even the word it kind of changes completely. So conflict kind of disappears, right? There will be no more conflict, especially when you learn the technique that I will be showing you in the workshop part. Conflict will kind of disappear, and then it's easy to remain present, and it's easy to focus on finding solutions, because every single time that this happens, let's call it conflict, but every single time this conflict happens, you know that you are now growing together. So let's do it. Let's enjoy it, right? There are another 4 behaviors. I'm a great conflict buster. I don't escalate fights and avoid defensiveness or punishing my partner. I'm an effective communicator. I express my feelings directly and clearly. I'm not playing games. Wow. Games playing, that's something that used to happen for me so much, and I believe that many people out there, they struggle with it quite a lot. So I'm not playing any games. I'm just direct, honest. I'm not playing hard to get or use manipulation or be like, like now make them jealous. It's like, this is all understandable. Like, I'm not judging anyone, because every behavior makes sense in the context that it happens. But once the context changes, the behavior changes, right? One last, I am quick to forgive. I assume good intentions and don't hold grudges. And now, how you change your behaviors? Well, how do you change your behavior? Number 1, you change your identity. So you start with the single most powerful force that has influence over you, over your relationships, over your perception of the world, over whatever you notice, over how you feel, over how you think, over how you act, right? Changing behaviors. You start with the identity. You don't start from the behavior and then backtrack to your identity. You start with the identity, and then from that you kind of move on to another circles. Another one would be changing your beliefs. That is changing what you know about the world, what you know with absolute certainty. If you know something that doesn't serve you, you just need to introduce a little bit of the doubt and then introduce something else. There are ways how to do it quite fast. And then lastly, changing your habits. If you behave as a secure person once, but other than that, you are anxious or avoidant, it doesn't make you a secure person, right? It's not about one-off behaviors. It's about habits. It's about consciously changing your behaviors, rituals, and mostly habits, something that you do consistently over and over and over and over. Now, let us move on to the workshop part of this presentation. And I will be talking about 3 steps, and I will show you specific 3 steps for each of these, which are in no way all-encompassing, and this is not just showing you that if you take these 3 steps, you are done. No, these are 3 steps in the right direction, and I'm going to be showing you these 3 steps and telling you about other steps that are important to take. But from my experience and from experience of working with my clients, after my shift, after becoming a secure partner, it takes no longer than 6 months to become secure, no matter where you start. For most people, it takes about 3 to 4 months to become secure. But you need to know specific steps, you need to know specific beliefs, you need to know specific identities, you need to know behaviors. We all covered this, but the most important part is you need to know specific approaches, techniques, methods, tools to implement it and integrate it deeply into your subconscious mind. So it becomes familiar, so it becomes expected, so your RAS is wired, so you start to notice things about yourself, about others, about the world that confirm your new identity. Right? We'll be talking in the step 1 of the workshop about the self-concept model from Steve Andreas, which is this amazing model about how to look at yourself and how to look at who you are. Number 2, we will take care of the beliefs with my self-hypnosis that is called Become a Secure Partner. I will guide you through this self-hypnosis today. And number 3, we'll be talking about behaviors, which is SEW technique from Dr. Julie Colwell, which is this amazing skill that once you learn it, you learn a way of communicating with people and with your partner that is inarguable, right? Argument can only happen if you are discussing something that can be argued, but SEW technique will take care of this one, because once you learn this technique, you will learn how to communicate in the way that is inarguable. So let us begin with the workshop part. Let us continue. If there are people who would like to explore working with me, there are 3 options to work with me. And let me just say that when I work with people, I always use this metaphor of building your own emotional, mental, and spiritual home. Right? All of us have been raised in some other environments. And therefore, the base for me working with people is always focusing on emotional homes. There are many emotional homes that can work, but there are usually 4 that don't really work, which is shame, grief, betrayal, and loneliness. And so when I work with people, always I focus, when I work with one-on-one, always the first month, the first 4 weeks is focusing on what are the emotional homes that don't work for you and which ones do you want instead, and let us shift them. And there are specific processes that I use for shifting. Usually, most of us carry at least 1, if not 2, out of these ones. And sometimes it's something else, like people carry different emotional homes. But usually, out of these 4, at least 1 is ever present with many people. And so, working one-on-one with me means that we are building your emotional, mental home from the foundation, and the foundation is always emotional homes. So we are starting there, and once this is stable, once this is exactly how you want it, then we proceed on to the next step, which is we are taking care of your relationship with you, that is relationship with self, relationship with others. This masterclass and workshop were exactly about this one. Relationship with energy, not only with the physical energy, but with creative energy, or the energy that comes with in the form of sexual energy, the energy that kind of moves through you through different channels. We are using human design for this one, which is a very amazing tool, and then we also focus on your relationship with resources. This is another month. So the first month is the fundamental base. So your base is solid and stable. The second month is about cleaning up your past relationships and how you see yourself in this world. So changing your identity, changing your labels, changing what you believe about world and others. So it makes sense, and we clean up everything that is old, that doesn't serve you anymore. And then we build on top of it 8 pillars of Wheel of Life. That is 8 different areas of your life. Wheel of Life is a coaching tool that I use to separate your life into 8 different areas, where we focus on your business, where we focus on your finances, where we focus on your health, where we focus on every single part of your life. So then when we are done after the first month, after the second month, and after another 2 months, that is 4 months in total, I will give you your own keys to your own emotional, mental, and spiritual home of your own choosing. Not what somebody told you, not what you decide to believe about yourself in some very low period or maybe time of your life, but what you are deciding right now, empowered and completely clean from all that happened in the past. This is what I do. It takes no longer than 4 months. Sometimes it's even faster. And if this seems like it's impossible to be completely healed from all that happened in the past and to be living in your life exactly how you want it, then please don't contact me, because you are not the person that I want to work with. But if you are open to explore, and if you feel like, this could be actually something for me, and I would like to completely redefine how I see myself in this world, this is for you. Now, there are 3 options how I guide people through this. 16 masterclasses is the number 1 step that anyone can take. And this is the masterclass number 3. Now, there will be 16 masterclasses. Once you take all these 16 masterclasses, you effectively take all these steps that I'm taking with one-on-one clients. Obviously, not in as much depth, but I can assure you that once you take all these 16 masterclasses, you pretty much redefined how you see yourself in the world in all these different areas, right? Every Friday, I'm holding a masterclass. Now, my son has been born just 2 days ago, so it is possible I might go into bi-weekly masterclass. I will see how everything goes. But my commitment is to as soon as possible to release all these 16 masterclasses to the world, so they are available for anyone for very low price, which is 50 euros per masterclass, or which contains always the full recording, masterclass, and workshop. You can find them in my online store. I will show you the link soon. And it's either you purchase 50 euros for the masterclass for everything, including the self-hypnosis recording, or you decide, okay, let's go for just a self-hypnosis recording, which in today's case, it would be become a secure partner. This is option number 1. Option number 2 is to work with me one-on-one, which is something that I call the fresh start. So you can give yourself the fresh start. And what it means is quite simple, and that is once a week, you get 45 minutes one-on-one session with me, where we dive deep into whatever it is that you need, whether it's transforming your past, whether it's transforming your current habits, or whether it's vision for the future. You get weekly assignment to complete on your own, so you can continue in this work by yourself, and you get 50% off from the online store, which means that you get cheaper access even to the masterclasses, which then cost you 25 euros instead. This costs either 500 per month, which means that if you want to go through the entire program, it would cost you 2,000, 5,500 times 4, 2,000 for these 4 months, or you can pay 150 per week, and that means that it would be 16 weeks going forward. So that's one option. The second option for people who are busy, people who are focused on other things as well, people who want the full package, people who are high income individuals who want to grow their business and want to give somebody else to this work so they can take care of it. And for somebody who wants me to take care of this whole transformation, all I want you to do is to show up once a week. And the second option is something that I call the Project U. Once a week, between Monday and Sunday, we meet for 90 minutes. You don't do anything else, you just show up. And once you show up, I will take you through the exact transformation that I took myself, and I took 50 people before you. You get 24/7 message access to me, which means that as you go through this transformation, you can access me whenever you want, and we can discuss you becoming and shifting yourself out there. So you don't have to do any assignments if you don't choose to. But if you go through different scenarios and you find yourself experiencing different sensations, different emotions, or maybe different thought processes, you have always me next to you, locked arms for the 16 weeks, or for the 4 weeks if you decide to, and you get 100% off for everything that is in my online store now and in the future forever. So any masterclass that is happening is for you to access, or you get the recording is for free. And there are two options. Either you decide, okay, let's go forward and let's pay the entire 4-month program, which is 5,000, or you can decide to pay month by month, which is 1,500 per month. It comes down to a little bit more. Now, I have only 6 seats for this program, and there are 4 seats already taken. So there are 2 seats left right now. Obviously, as people progress through this program and they finish, they will be again seats open. But seeing as I'm focusing as well on my family, but I want to give my all to the people that are working with me. There are always only 6 seats available, out of which 4 are taken right now. So if this is interesting for you, let me know. And how do you let me know? It's quite simple. You want to know these 3 ways how to contact me. If you are ready to work with me one-on-one, then it's quite simple. You go online and type ready.matushanigiar.com, and it will open this simple landing page where you have all the options linked. You can just click on the link. You can process the payment. We schedule the first session and let us start. If you feel that you want to explore what is in my online store, you can access it in store.matushanigiar.com. This masterclass will be uploaded there over the weekend right now as I finish it. And so you can see already 2 masterclasses are there, plus quite a lot of recordings that I recorded before, different processes for changing beliefs, and so on and so forth. Just have a look. And if you want to find me on socials, I'm everywhere. You can find me even on Blue Sky. So just find Matush Hanigiar, and I'll be there. And you can contact me through social media. It was a great pleasure being here with you. It was a great pleasure to guiding you through the masterclass. It was a great pleasure guiding you through the workshop. And thank you very much for participating in today's masterclass. Now, remember, healing is a journey. And you now have the tools, yet another tool, to continue forward. I'll see you on the next masterclass, which I'm hoping will be next Friday, but let us see what happens. And I thank you very much for participating. I'm wishing you all the best. And let me just repeat one more thing, and that is, you have not been born as a secure partner. Regardless of whether you are secure or insecure, you have not been born like that. You have been molded by your environment and by people around you into who you are right now. But you can absolutely change it. And if you feel like change, like I can assist you in the change, I'll be ready there for you. But just trust that as you are walking this journey, you will find a way. This The fact that you are watching this all the way to the end is an evidence of the fact that you are the person, the type of person that will find the way. Why? Because you are already doing it. You are already moving forward. My blessings to you. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will see you some other time. All the best.